G'day guys, welcome back. Too many projects, not enough time. I'm Andrew. This is Ivy, and some of you Can-Am Defender guys out there watching my videos trying to catch up on the Can-Am stuff. We've got a few more things coming with the Can-Am Defender. We just can't get up to the lake right now where it is, although I really need to because I've got to plough the driveway. It's a couple of feet deep in snow now, but due to the highway restrictions and the flooding that we had a month or so back, it's been hard to get up there. So today on Ivy, we're going to tear the band-aid off and modify this brake tower. So the booster we're going to use is an early Defender booster, the Type 50. It's on order and will be here in a couple of weeks. And when we get it here, we're going to do an adapter plate up, which will firstly allow for the extra ½ inch long shaft in the middle, as well as a different bolt pattern here, so that'll fix those two things at once, just like a friend of mine did on a couple of his trucks. So that will work, and so let's wait. But in the meantime, we're going to make this fit under the hood. So let's tear the band-aid off. We're going to start off by notching this back, because as you can see in this picture right here, we're almost clear of that bracket under the hood, so we just got to move forwards about 3/4 of an inch. And I think by notching the top here with a piece of 1 inch angle, that'll gain us, even if it gains us ½ inch, but I think it'll gain us 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch. And then we're going to drop it lower to get the hood to rest. But the first step, let's notch the back, see where the hood drops, to see how much more we need to gain or lose to get this to fit under the hood. Okay, so the first step, we're going to pull all the bits off this, so it's not as cumbersome. For those of you who have never pulled one of these apart before, follow along. We'll zoom in a little. There we go. Start off by removing the brake pedal switch plate. That will give us access to a pin inside of there. Okay. Gently pop the spring off. Actually, that can stay there. That's for the booster. Number 2. And in the top here, there's a pin we need to bump out, I believe. There's definitely a pin. On the side here. I've never done this, so we're learning together, guys. So the pin comes out of there. That allows us to take that pin out. somehow this disconnects from there, like that. Okay. Keep that, reuse that. Okay, perfect. Alright, now let's see how much room we got here. We're going to take the pedal, simulate upside down chain. So this will tell us what we can do. Alright, so that mark there shows us what we can do for removing some metal. Alright, through the magic of forgetting to press the record button, we've opened up a little bit of a bird's mouth there. Let's see if the pedal will work. Alright guys, so it's kind of hard to film it underneath the hood there, really dark and the angle's really tight, so we put it there. As you can see by the still picture, we've gained about 1/4 inch, and by the time this slides forwards about ½ inch, we'll gain like ½ inch, 5/8 in the hood dropping lower, so that helps, that gets us closer. So we're down to 2 inches here, better than 2.5. We've laid out 2 inches to take out of here, and there's no going back. Let's put the grinder in here, drop it 2 inches, mock it up and see what she looks like. Alrighty, so there's our 2 inches out of there. Now, righty. So, after rushing in, thinking it was just going to be as simple as cut this hide out of here, drop it down, we're all good. As you can see, I made my 2 cuts. We dropped her down, and it wasn't even close to working. So, starting all over again with a little more forethought to this, what we do need to do, because this swivel point right here needs to drop vertically straight down to get closer to the point where it needs to end up. As you can see here, I did put some reference points up this way, thinking we take it out, we drop that down to there, then I can slide it forwards, figure it out. Didn't work. So this still may not work, but what we're going to do, I've created a little drop line there, and what that's going to do is, because this has to drop vertically straight down, so the pedal itself drops vertically straight down in the same location to the floor and not forwards or backwards. You just need to slow this thing down to get it to stop. Oh crap. Oh, I did it again. Bugger me. We'll draw a vertical line. Then wherever that vertical line passes through above this piece, we'll meet up with where the vertical line finishes at the bottom. That will then place the pedal in the right spot inside the footwell, I think. So let's go ahead and roughly mark that out. All the way through where we need to. That may not line up where you're looking on camera, but that lines up all the way through. Alright, so that line has to connect up in any of those locations to stay vertical. That's the first step. Alright. Next step. Let's move you around the front and take another look here. Alright, the next step is we have our brake booster. We are going to start with a Series 3 booster, which will mount like that. Now, we are also going to make allocations for a Defender 50 type brake booster, but we do need to make, or we did need to make this adapter plate. Now what this adapter plate will do, it will bolt into the original holes, because the Type 50 has different locating holes than the Series 3. We have different locator holes here, and in addition, the I guess you'd call it the push rod that connects to the pedal is 1/2 inch longer. So we made this adapter plate spacer 1/2 inch to accommodate for that longer, so it all connects up again. So if we go that route, we have it covered, we have it prepped and ready to go quite easily. But the problem with both the Type 50 and the Series 3, because we're trying to squeeze this down underneath the Series 1 hood, which is about here, if we keep dropping this down, where's my pointer? Both of these boosters are very quickly going to come in contact with the steering column. So we're not going to be able to drop it down, because we still have to drop down, I don't know, another inch to 2 as we're going to work our way down little bit by little bit, making small modifications as we go. So under here we've got a little bit more to drop down, maybe 1/2 inch at the most, before we start hitting the steering column, because it's pushed over right by the steering column. Now this is in location where the factory holes came for the pedals for a Defender. Excuse my location bolts there. Right here. But in order to clear the steering column with the booster, we're going to have to move the booster over by 1 inch from the original holes. Now, as you can see by this picture here, there is plenty of room to move this over a little further away from the clutch, a little closer to the accelerator, and actually place the pedal in a slightly more centralized position between the three. So that will absolutely work. And then over here we will have more room to drop either booster down lower to get this bracket underneath the hood. So with all those things, I think you have a better plan of moving forwards in the first little bit of this video, where we kind of went like a bull in a china shop. And secondly, by moving this over about 1 inch, 1.1 inches, it will also then place the top of this back underneath the relief area in the framing of the hood. Because right now this is offset and it's hitting, and we really need to modify that relief in the hood a little bit more to accept more of this. Now we would need to modify that less if we move this over like I just did, 1.1 inches. That then places this underneath the original relief in the framing of the hood. And we also are going to modify a little bit of that relief in the hood as well, so we can gain another 5/8, maybe 3/4 of an inch height here. Let's get her done step by step. Now we're going to make one modification, check it out, another modification, check it out, take it step by step, and then where we've got a big hole here, what we'll do, I'm just going to cut a large section out of here and then cut these holes and this big hole in the new replacement piece, which will simply weld in one new patch that'll have this 1.125 inches further over to the side. And then when we do final weld on the bulkhead, we will do final weld on that end. And hopefully that'll make the pedal position more comfortable and make it all work. Okay, so after notching the hood down, we've gained a little more ground. We've got about a 1/4 inch taken out of the height of this, plus then about 3/4 of an inch out of the framing of the hood. And we're down to just this little gap left. So we've got about 1 inch to go. So we're going to start off, take another 1/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch even out of here, and we'll put it back on and see how she sits.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Alright, so we just took another 1/2 inch out of this riser section here. This line lines up here. So we do have a little gap in the front to patch up, and a patch in the back to patch up. But now, let's see if the hood clears. We also massaged the top of this a little bit. We put a pie cut in here on both sides and squished this down so it just clears the top of the pedal arm. We're really scraping for millimeters here to make this work, so whatever we're going to do, peeps. Let's put the hood on, see if it works. So there we go. We got that hood sitting down where it's going to end up, and we'll go around and show the pedal box in a minute. A little extra light in there. As you can see up there, we do have clearance. The pin's sticking out the side there. Let's see if we can do this. There we go. So the pin's sticking out the side will end up flush, so that won't be a problem. Notches up into the hood frame, clears the hood. We got nearly 1/4 inch clearance up there, at least 3/16 clearance in the hood. And let's see if the pedal works. Okay, and then we got the pedal all the way up. Let's see how far it is off the ground by doing that now. We're about 4 inches off now, so we've lost a good 1.5 inches in height, which is good. That'll make that a little more comfortable to go from accelerator to brake. And then clutch over here. Now clutch does need a little, some sort of adjustment and dropping there as well. So we can either, with the clutch we can either extend the length of the arm and change the shape of the arm a little bit to bring it in line with these two. And the clutch, sorry, and the brake pedal itself and the assembly came over and the whole brake pedal assembly moved over about 3/4 of an inch, which gave us more than enough clearance from the steering column. So I'm going to call that a win. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay guys, there we have it. I wasn't sure I was going to get this to work with fit, but we got it to fit. A lot of trimming and weight loss to make it all work, but the pedal works full throw. This clears here. I'm not sure if we're going to fit a type 50 width-wise here. When I do get a type 50, I will test it on here. And if I need to move the pedal over a little bit more to make that fit, just in case we need it later on, I will then make further adjustments on the bulkhead here to move the pedal over a little bit more. We do have a little more room. Another 3/4 inch we could move it over. So for now, we're going to leave it at that. I got a lot of welding and patching to do on this. Weld up and patch a plate in the top here, plate in the back, weld up this little hole here. Basically just button up the whole unit so she's ready to go. And then we'll leave it at that for now because it works. And if we do have to move this over a little bit more later on, we can do that before I do final welding on the footwell here for where the new hole's going to be. So thanks for coming along. I hope this has helped some of you Series 1 guys who want to put disc brakes in, whether you want to go to all this trouble. But hopefully this saves you a bunch of time and trouble. I'm trying to figure out how to make it work. So it does work, just a little bit of cutting and shutting and modifications needed. So this is great news. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.